Be me, 38F, 2 kids, 8 boy and 10 girl, husband. Chris is 40, civil engineer. He's the definition of reliable. Makes 6 figures, home by 5:45 p.m, coaches Little League, does the dishes without being asked. But my God, he is boring. We've been married for 15 years. Met in college. He was the guy with the perfectly organized binder and the mechanical pencil who actually did the reading for class. I was the free spirit, lit major quoting Sylvia Plath and wearing thrift store scarves. Back then, his stability felt like an anchor in my chaotic sea of emotions. Now, 15 years later, it feels like a ball and chain made of memory foam. Our life is a script written by a committee of safety inspectors. Wake up at 6:30 a.m. exactly. Chris is already up, coffee brewed, lunch boxes packed with military precision. He cuts the crusts off the sandwiches exactly how the kids like it. He kisses my forehead in the exact same spot. Morning, hun. Sleep well? Every single day. Same inflection, same gentle smile. I want to scream into my pillow until my throat is raw. I work in HR. My day consists of mediating disputes between socially awkward developers about who stole whose almond milk or who is breathing too loudly. I come home to the suburbs. The lawn is perfect. Chris mows it diagonally on Saturdays because it's better for the root system. The gutters are clean. Chris does them twice a year with a harness on. The cars are serviced. Chris has a color-coded spreadsheet for oil changes. I am living the American dream, and I feel like I am slowly suffocating in a vat of beige paint. Dinner is the worst part of the day. We sit at the table, no phones allowed. Chris's rule, family time. He asks the kids about school. They give one-word answers because they are 8 and 10. Then he talks about his day. He talks about load-bearing walls and soil compaction ratios and municipal zoning disputes. He gets so animated about concrete density, and the aggregate was totally off, hun, so we had to delay the pour by 4 hours. I nod, staring at a spot on the wall. Wow, that sounds stressful. I am on autopilot. My brain is screaming for stimulation, for passion, for chaos, for anything that isn't concrete. I look at him chewing his roast chicken. He's a good man. He's a fantastic father. But I feel absolutely nothing when I look at him, just a mild irritation that he breathes so loudly through his nose. I start to resent his contentment. How dare he be happy with this mundane existence when I am withering away? I feel like I've lost my identity. I'm just a mum and Chris's wife. I look in the mirror and I still see a woman who could turn heads. I take care of myself, Pilates 3 times a week, expensive skincare, highlights every 6 weeks. I'm 38, not dead, but I feel like I'm in a coffin. Start venting to Grace at work. Grace is my work bestie and my lifeline to the real world. 34, single, HR manager. She's always on her phone, swiping on apps during meetings. She tells me stories about her weekends over lunch, wild dates, rooftop bars, situationships, drama, ghosting. It sounds exhausting, but also alive. It sounds like a movie. We go to lunch at this overpriced salad place every Tuesday. I complain about Chris. He's just so nice. I groan. He bought me a vacuum for our anniversary. A vacuum. Grace gasps, dropping her fork. No, that is a crime. It was a Dyson. I defend him slightly, out of habit. It was expensive. It doesn't matter, Grace says, waving a manicured hand. It's domestic servitude wrapped in plastic. He sees you as the maid. You are a woman in your prime. You are being stifled by the patriarchy of the suburbs. You deserve passion. You deserve to be worshipped. You deserve to be seen as a sexual being, not just a mother. She starts sending me links throughout the day, articles about the monogamy trap, podcasts about reclaiming your erotic self, blog posts about why the nuclear family is failing women. I start consuming this content like candy. I read about women who opened their marriages and found themselves. They talk about compersion and autonomy and ethical non-monogamy. It sounds so enlightened, so modern, so us. I look at my parents' marriage, 40 years of bickering and silence and resentful coexistence. I don't want that. I want the romance novel. I want the butterflies. And I convince myself that I can have it all. I can keep the stable provider husband who pays the mortgage and fixes the sink. And I can outsource the excitement to other men. It makes perfect sense. It's practically a feminist act. Taking control of my own desires. Spend 3 months building the case. I treat it like a corporate negotiation. I need to frame this so Chris accepts it. Chris is logical to a fault. He needs data. He needs to see the benefit for the family unit. I tell myself I'm doing this for us. If I'm happier, I'll be a better wife. If I get my needs met elsewhere, I won't resent him for being boring. It's a public service, really. I pick a Friday night. Kids are at a sleepover at my sister's house. Chris has made pasta from scratch. He pours 2 glasses of Merlot. We sit on the couch to watch a documentary about suspension bridges. I mute the TV right when they start talking about tensile strength. Chris, we need to talk. He freezes, the fork halfway to his mouth. He puts it down slowly, carefully, on the plate. Is it the kids? Is someone sick? Did the school call? His first instinct is always protection. It annoys me even more. No, everyone is fine. It's about us. He relaxes slightly, but his eyes are wary. Okay, what about us? I feel like we're stuck, Chris. I feel like we've become roommates who run a small business called The Family. I love you, but I'm not in love anymore. The spark is gone. I feel like I'm suffocating. Chris looks hurt, actually hurt. I love you, he says quietly. I think we have a good life. We're safe. We're healthy. Good isn't enough. I snap, then soften my tone. I've been reading a lot about ethical non-monogamy. I drop the term like a grenade. Chris stares at me. He blinks. Processing. You mean cheating? No, not cheating. Cheating is lying. This is open. This is honest. This is consensual. I want us to have the freedom to explore connections with other people, to feel alive again, to rediscover our autonomy. Chris looks at his wine glass. He looks absolutely defeated. So I'm not enough for you? It's a statement, not a question. It's not about being enough, Chris, I say, reciting the lines Grace taught me. No one person can be everything for another person. That's unfair pressure on you. I want to take that pressure off. You can date too. You can find someone who loves bridges. He winces. I don't want anyone else. I chose you. You just say that because you're scared. I push. Think about it. We married at 23. You never got to experience the world. You went straight from college to marriage. This could be great for both of us. We can grow. I badger him for 2 hours. I cry. I use the words stifled and trapped and identity. Eventually, he caves, because he is Chris, and Chris fixes things, and he thinks this is the only way to fix me staying. He thinks if he says no, I'll leave, so he agrees to set himself on fire to keep me warm. Okay, he whispers, his voice cracking. If this is what you need to be happy, but we need rules, strict rules. We spend the rest of the weekend drafting the Constitution. Chris writes it down on a yellow legal pad. He treats it like a contract. 1. No bringing partners to the house. 2. Kids never meet them. 3. Always use protection. 4. Total veto power. If one person is uncomfortable, the relationship ends immediately. 5. No emotional entanglements, just fun, no falling in love. 6. Full transparency on schedules, but no gory details about the dates. I agree to everything enthusiastically. I nod solemnly. Inside, I am doing cartwheels. I feel like I just got a get out of jail free card. I feel like I've hacked the system. Monday morning, I download the apps immediately. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I spend 3 hours curating my profile. I use the photo from my sister's wedding where I look 30. I use a photo of me doing yoga, bio, married and open, looking for fun, respectful connections, no drama. I launch it, boom. The phone starts buzzing, like physically vibrating off the desk. 99 plus likes in 10 minutes. I feel a rush of dopamine so strong it's almost dizzying. I scroll through the faces, doctors, lawyers, trainers, musicians, guys half my age. They all want me. I show Grace at lunch. See? She says, scrolling through my feed. You still got it, girl. The market is hot for a woman who knows what she wants. I feel powerful. I feel desirable. I ask Chris later that night, how's your app going? Did you make a profile? He looks at his phone. He sighs, looking tired. I got 1 like. It was a bot selling crypto. I try not to smirk. Let me see your profile. It's terrible. Blurry selfie in the car with sunglasses on. Bio. Civil engineer. Married. E&M. Father of 2. I like history and hiking. Chris, this is tragic, I say, laughing. You have to sell the fantasy. No one wants to date a dad. I'm not a fantasy, he says flatly. I'm a dad. That's who I am. I pat his shoulder patronizingly. Well, good luck, babe. I don't help him fix it. I like the power dynamic. I am the desired one. He is the lucky one who gets to keep me. I assume he will never get a date. My hot girl autumn begins. First date, Jack, 28, personal trainer, meet at a trendy bar downtown. He's wearing a tank top in October. He orders a vodka Red Bull. He asks me if I'm down to clown. I ignore the cringe because his biceps are the size of my head. We go to his place. It smells like gym socks and old pizza. The intimacy is athletic, fast, hard, impersonal. He doesn't ask if I enjoyed it. He falls asleep immediately afterwards. I drive home at 1 a.m. I feel liberated. I sneak into bed next to Chris. He's warm. He smells like his boring Old Spice body wash. I sleep like a rock. Next morning, Chris makes pancakes for the kids. He doesn't ask about the date. He just pours the syrup and asks if I want coffee. I feel a tiny prick of guilt, but then I check my phone and see 10 new messages from other guys, and the guilt vanishes like smoke. Fast forward 4 months, I have cycled through a roster of men. Simon, 45, rich, arrogant, spent the whole dinner checking his stocks and talking about his ex-wife. Miles, 32, artist, lived with 3 roommates, asked me for gas money on the second date. Ethan, 24, literally a man-child, called me Mrs. Robinson unironically and didn't know who Pearl Jam was. The novelty is wearing off. The dates are repetitive. The conversations are shallow. What do you do? What are you looking for? You have nice eyes. Your husband is cool with this. I realize that most of these men don't care about me. They see Married and Open and read Easy and No Commitment. I am a convenience store for them, but I keep doing it because the attention is addictive and because I can't admit to Chris that it's not that great. I can't admit that freedom is actually just lonely. Meanwhile, Chris is changing. It starts slow, almost imperceptible. He stops eating the pasta. He starts meal prepping chicken, rice, and broccoli. He joins a real gym, not the Planet Fitness down the street. I hear him downstairs, clanging weights, running on the treadmill. He loses the dad bod. His jawline comes back. He buys new glasses, stylish ones, black frames. He grows a beard and keeps it trimmed and oiled. He looks handsome, like genuinely hot. I make a snarky comment one morning. Midlife crisis kicking in. He just smiles. A calm, secret smile I haven't seen before. Just want to be healthy for the kids. I want to be able to keep up. He stops asking me to watch movies. He starts reading books in the evening. Philosophy, history, urban planning. He seems content in his solitude, and for some reason, that pisses me off. He was supposed to be miserable while I flourished. Instead, he's evolving. Month 6, I come home from a disastrous date with a guy who chewed with his mouth open and talked about his crypto portfolio for 2 hours. Chris is in the kitchen. He's on the phone. He's laughing. A deep, rich laugh I haven't heard in years. He sees me and says into the phone, I have to go. She's home. Good night. His voice is soft, intimate. He hangs up. Who was that? I ask, kicking off my heels and rubbing my sore feet. A friend, he says. A friend? Yeah. Her name is Haley. My stomach drops. Oh? Who is she? We met at the library. We both reach for the same book on brutalist architecture. I scoff. Sounds like a meet-cute in a bad rom-com. She's nice, he says simply. She's a doctoral student. She's smart. I relax. Student? Probably some nerdy kid looking for a mentor. Probably looks like a librarian with a messy bun. Well, that's nice, Chris. I'm glad you made a friend. I go upstairs feeling superior. 2 weeks later, Chris comes down in a new outfit. Dark jeans, fitted blazer, crisp white shirt. He smells like sandalwood, not Old Spice. He looks like a man who knows his worth. I'm going out, he says. Date? I ask, trying to sound casual, but my voice is high. Yeah. With Haley. Where are you going? That jazz club downtown. The Blue Note. I pause. I've wanted to go there for years. Chris always said he hates jazz. Have fun, I say, my voice tight. He leaves. He doesn't wait for my approval. He doesn't look back. He just walks out the door with a bounce in his step. I wait up for him. I tell myself it's for safety, but really I'm panicking. He comes home at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. He's usually in bed by 10. He walks in. He looks electrified. His eyes are bright. He's humming. "You're up late," he says. "How was it?" I demand. "Incredible," he says. "The music was amazing. We talked for 4 hours. I didn't even notice the time." "Did you know?" He looks at me. "No." We held hands. He says it with such reverence. It makes me feel sick. Holding hands is intimate. Holding hands is romantic. I wanted him to have meaningless hookups so I wouldn't feel guilty. I didn't want him to have romance. "Well, don't get your hopes up," I say cruelly. "She's probably just using you for free dinners. Students are broke." Chris looks at me. For the first time, I see pity in his eyes. "She paid," he says. "She insisted. She said she wanted to treat me." He walks upstairs, leaving me standing in the kitchen with my mouth open. The shift happens fast after that. Chris is out twice a week. He's happy. He's singing in the shower. He's patient with the kids. He's helpful around the house. But he's emotionally gone. He stops asking about my day. He stops trying to initiate intimacy with me. I try to get his attention. I wear lingerie to bed. He kisses me on the cheek and turns over. Tired from the gym, he says, "I am furious." I ramp up my dates. I stay out until 3 a.m. He doesn't care. "Hope you had fun," he says the next morning. He's not jealous, because he doesn't need me anymore. I feel the power slipping through my fingers like sand. I start stalking his phone usage. He's texting her constantly. Long paragraphs, memes, photos of things he sees during the day. He never texted me like that. He only texted me pick up milk or running late. 1 month later, I come home to the smell of roast duck. Chris is cooking a gourmet meal. The table is set with the good china. Candles are lit. "Wow," I say, hopeful. "Are we celebrating something? Is it our anniversary?" "Haley is coming over for dinner," he says. My blood runs cold. "Excuse me?" "Rule number 1, Chris. No partners at the house." He turns around. He looks calm. Steel in his spine. "You broke that rule in February with Miles. That was an emergency. He needed to use the bathroom." "It wasn't," he says. "He stayed for 2 hours and drank my beer, and I didn't say anything. This isn't a hookup. I want you to meet her." "I don't want to meet your girlfriend, Chris. She's important to me," he says, "and the kids are at your mum's. It's just us adults. Please." He looks so earnest, and I realize I have no leverage. I wanted this open life. Now I have to live in it. "Fine," I snap, "but don't expect me to be nice." I go upstairs and declare war. I put on my revenge dress. Tight red silk, push-up bra, heels that could puncture a lung, full face of makeup. I am going to intimidate this 26-year-old into the ground. I expect her to be young and dumb. I expect her to be a mess. I expect her to be vapid. The doorbell rings. I walk down slowly. Chris opens the door, and my confidence shatters. She's beautiful. Not in a cheap way. She's 26, maybe 27. Olive skin, dark curls, eyes that sparkle with intelligence. She's wearing a simple, elegant dress. She holds herself with grace. She hands Chris a vintage vinyl record. "I found that Miles Davis album you were talking about," she says. Chris looks at her like she hung the moon. He turns to me. "Honey, this is Haley." Haley steps forward. She smiles warm, genuine. "Hi. It is so nice to finally meet you. Chris speaks so highly of your writing." "My writing?" "I wrote a few poems in college for the literary review." Chris remembered. I'm stunned. "Hi." I managed to say, "Dinner is a nightmare. Not because it goes wrong, but because it goes right." They have chemistry, electric, palpable chemistry. They finish each other's sentences. They debate urban planning with passion. Haley is smart, razor sharp. She includes me in the conversation. She asks about my job in HR. She validates my stress about the developers. "That sounds so emotionally taxing," she says. "You must have the patience of a saint." She's charming. She's kind. She's everything I wanted to be, and she thinks my boring husband is the most interesting man in the world. I watch them. I see Chris touch her hand on the table, a gentle, protective touch. He hasn't touched me like that in 5 years. I realize with horror, he wasn't boring. We were just bored with each other. And now he's awake, and I'm the one who is asleep at the wheel. Suddenly, we hear footsteps. The kids, they weren't supposed to be home. My mum dropped them off early because my dad got sick. Panic. Rule number 2. Kids never meet them. My son Finn runs in holding a broken Lego ship. Daddy, it broke. I sigh, getting up. Finn, go back to bed. We have company. Haley turns in her chair. Is that the Millennium Falcon? She asks. Finn stops. Yeah, that's the Kessel Run edition, right? The one with the modified radar dish? Finn's eyes go wide. Yeah, bring it here, she says, sliding off her chair onto the floor. I bet we can fix the hyperdrive. I'm good with structural integrity. She sits on the floor with him, in her nice dress, and helps him snap the pieces back together. She talks to him like a person, not a baby. My daughter, Sophie, comes down too. She watches Haley. I like your hair, Sophie says shyly. Thanks. I like yours. Do you want me to show you how to do a Dutch braid? It keeps it out of your eyes for soccer. 10 minutes later, my kids are sitting around Haley like she's Mary Poppins. Chris is watching them with tears in his eyes. I am sitting alone at the head of the table, drinking wine, feeling like a ghost in my own house. My kids never look at me like that. I'm the homework and chores, Mum. Haley is the Lego and braids goddess. That night, after she leaves, I confront Chris. I'm drunk. I'm crying. You love her. It's not a question. Chris is cleaning up the plates. He stops. Yes. More than me? He hesitates. That hesitation is a knife in my heart. Differently, he says. She appreciates me. She doesn't think I'm boring. She thinks I'm fascinating. I appreciate you, I scream. No, you rely on me, he says calmly. There's a difference. You like that I pay the bills and fix the car, but you don't like me. I collapse onto the floor. I want to close the marriage. I want it to stop. Now. Chris looks down at me. I can't do that. What do you mean you can't? I'm your wife. I have veto power. The veto was for safety, he says. Haley is safe. Haley is good for me. But I'm unhappy, I scream. I made a mistake. I want us back. He shakes his head. You wanted freedom, he says softly. You told me I was boring. You told me I was stifling you. I found someone who doesn't think I'm boring. I'm not going to break her heart just because you changed your mind. So what? You're leaving me? I think we've run our course, he says. Tears well up in his eyes. I think you should go find that spark you wanted. And I'm going to stay here. I scream. I cry. I throw a vase against the wall. He stands there like a statue. He's done. The reliable man has finally made a decision that isn't safe, and it destroys me. The divorce, it takes a year. It's messy emotionally, but clean legally. Chris keeps the house. He can afford it. I can't on my HR salary alone. I move into a luxury condo downtown. It's small. It's lonely. We share custody 50-50, but the kids start talking about Haley constantly. Haley took us to the science museum. Haley showed me how to bake bread. Haley helped me with my math homework. I try to compete. I buy them iPads. I take them to theme parks. They have fun, but they ask when they can go back to Dad's. One Friday, I go to pick them up. I pull into the driveway of my old house. The garden is blooming. Haley planted roses. I walk to the door. I hear laughter. Loud, happy chaos. I ring the bell. Chris answers. He looks 10 years younger. He's wearing a t-shirt that shows off his arms. He's smiling. Hey, he says. Come in, they're just finishing a game. I step into the living room. The room has changed. New furniture, brighter colors, plants everywhere. Haley is on the floor with my children. They are playing a board game. My daughter is braiding Haley's hair. My son is leaning on her shoulder. They look complete. They look like a family. My daughter sees me. Hi, Mum, she says. Not running to me, just hi, Mum. Can we finish the round? Haley is winning. Haley looks up. She's not smug. She's not gloating. She just smiles warmly. Hey, sorry, we got competitive. Do you want a coffee? I just brewed a fresh pot. She offers me coffee in my own home, with my own mug. And the worst part, she makes better coffee than I do. I stand there, clutching my designer purse, watching my ex-husband look at this woman with pure adoration, watching my children look at her with trust and joy. I realized I was the villain of my own story. I thought I was held back by them, but they were holding me up. And when I cut the ties, I didn't fly. I fell. I take the kids to my condo. It's quiet. They eat their takeout pizza. They go to their rooms to text their dad and Haley goodnight. I sit on the balcony, drinking wine alone. I check my phone. Tinder notification. Hey, baby girl, you up? It's from a 42-year-old consultant with a blurry photo. I look at the city lights. I have my freedom. I have my autonomy. I have my open options, and I would give anything, absolutely anything, to be back in that boring house, talking about load-bearing walls, but that door is closed, and I'm the one who locked it from the outside.